Christ in you, the hope of glory. You are not without power. You are not without hope. And you are not some beggar that has to just beg and plead and beg God to do stuff. You are his son. You are his daughter. You are a daughter of the living God, and he has already provided everything ahead of time, and he doesn't want you to beg. Seek first the kingdom, and all these things I'll add. Beloved, I wish above all things that you would prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. If you abide in me, and my words abide in you, you'll ask whatever you want, and I will give it to you. Hey, you're a good father. You know how to give good gifts to your children. How much more does the Father know how to give good gifts to his children? He's not a bad father. He is a good father. He's not an abusive father. He's not a father that beats you, that makes you sick, that robs you, that keeps you broke, that keeps you in the dark. You are his friend. We are a friend of God. He has great plans for you. And for the rest of this week, you should really meditate on that fact that the Spirit of the living God is in you. The same Spirit that was standing with Moses when he parted the waters. The same Spirit that was with Abraham when he stood up there to sacrifice his son. The same Spirit that was with Noah when everyone told Noah, you're an idiot, you're crazy, we don't even know what rain is. And then there's just Noah pounding on that boat, hammering that boat, making that boat for years, because he knew he had a cousin, I think it was cousin named Methuselah, and Methuselah lived a long time. But you know that song, Methuselah lived 100 years or whatever, but who called that living? You know that old song. Methuselah lived a long time, but the Methuselah's name actually means, I think it means when the end has come. So Noah already knew through the name of Methuselah that when he died, probably is when this flood would come, and that's exactly what happened. But that same Spirit that was with Noah, that strengthened him to build a boat, is in you. The same Spirit that was with David when he became king is in you. When David found himself in debt, in distress, everybody threatening to kill him because his men and their women and children were taken, and they were all crying. That same Spirit of God, he lives in you. When David was broken down and hurt, and the Bible says that he built himself up in the Lord, sometimes people won't help you out. Sometimes people won't be nice to you. You got to stir up your own gift of God. You got to build your own self up. Sometimes your own family won't even encourage you. But God will through his Spirit inside of you. And that Spirit that was with David is in you. That same Spirit that was with Paul when Paul was a big dummy and got knocked off his big donkey. And now he's preaching to people. And I mean, I don't know about you, but if I used to be shooting people and murdering, you probably wouldn't want to see my face in your church. So Paul, everywhere he went, had to deal with people going, it's Paul. You know, they probably were just like, oh, it's Paul. Let's let him in. But that Spirit of the living God was in him to keep him going, to keep him strong. When he got shipwrecked, when he got beaten, when he got stoned, when he was naked, when he was robbed, it says he was robbed, when he was in jail, the Spirit of the living God was in him. You don't have a tiny power. You have a power that has literally stood with every great man or woman of God, that has helped them overcome shipwrecks and beatings and stonings and doubt and confusion and brokenheartedness and scoffers. That's the Spirit who lives on the inside of you. So when anything comes against you, you'll need to just remember that and say to yourself, what is it that I can't overcome? Because the Spirit of the living God is in me. And that same Spirit who dwelled with all that, he's in me. Isn't that good? And so you need to meditate on that fact, and then when you do, when the enemy comes, you'll know how to defeat him.